Howdy folks, I'm back again with another review of a firearm that I own. This is a P220 Sig Sauer, the Legion model. You can see it right there on the top, and the P220. This is a full stainless steel, single action only model. It's a single stack magazine, so it holds 8. And what I like about this is it has a lot of the benefits of a 1911, smoothness, accuracy, dependability, all those things. But it comes apart like a striker fire. So I'll show you how it comes apart here. We just go ahead and lock it back like you would a striker fire. You turn it flat, and this comes off. Now this has connection all the way along here on the slide. It's not like a Glock or striker fire where it just has a rail here and a little bit back here. This makes connection all the way along, which gives for the smooth firing that we like about 1911s. But then of course it just captured spring and the barrel. So this they come very smooth from factory. I did a little bit of polishing, but it sort of reminded me of how the XDMs from Springfield come. Just really nice, upgraded barrels, upgraded springs, upgraded triggers, all around. Everything's smooth and polished and ready to go. And then you just flip this back and you're back in business. So that is a really nice feature. So this has a 5-inch barrel, and so in my studies of looking at stuff, I think that the 10 millimeter has been developed around the idea of at least a 5-inch barrel, or maybe a 5-inch barrel entirely. They definitely do. 10 millimeter does benefit from a little bit longer barrel than that. I think the 6-inch barrels are even giving more velocity with all standard loaded ammo. But even with a 4.5-inch barrel, which the XDMs only offer in a 4.5-inch barrel, it's still pretty good velocities, but usually not hitting what is marked on the factory ammo boxes. Here's a example of some of the ammo that's available. This is pretty cheap ammo. This is like in the low 20s for 50. They're 180 grain, and they're rated at 1200 feet a second, and we basically get that. And then so then that's kind of like range ammo, totally fine to carry and everything. It's a full metal flat nose. With it being a 40 caliber, it does a lot of destruction without expansion. Then we got Grizzly. I have a good passel of this, and this is a 220 grain hard cast flat nose. So when you think of a 45 ACP, the standard load is 230 grains. This is 220 grains. But the 230s for 45 ACP are typically anywhere from 850 to, or maybe 800 even, to 900 feet a second. This is rated at 1200 feet a second, same as the 180s were. Now this is only a 20 round box, and they're usually in the 40s. Of course, reloading, you could save a lot on that. Here is the Buffalo Bore, probably the gold standard in loaded ammo, especially pistol ammo. But I've had really good success with a few of the rifle ammos that I had bought from them. They manufacture to a high standard, and that again is a 220 grain hard cast flat nose with a 1200 foot per second rating. And from what my experience has been with Buffalo Bore, they put realistic and do a lot of testing. And so their feet per second that they put on the box is very realistic if you follow according to what barrels that they tested, and they'll actually put on their website underneath each ammo the different velocities that they got testing them in different firearms. And it's amazing that sometimes same length barrels but different manufacturers, they actually are getting different velocities, and it's substantial sometimes. And it has to do with, for whatever reason, some manufacturers and some barrel manufacturers make different tolerances. So your rifling is smaller then bore, and then the actual bore of the barrel is the actual size of, you know, whatever they deem the right for each caliber. And so you know, a little bit more of a squeeze can actually enhance accuracy, can enhance velocity as well. But of course there's a fine line in that, and I don't understand barrel making, but I think that's the reason for some of the fluctuating of the different velocities. So what I carry this in is a Diamond D leather holster, and they do a really nice job. There's just this one strap that comes around, and I'll just spin here so you can see. It's very simple to come on and off. I end up using it a lot more because it's so easy to adjust to whatever you're wearing, and you just tighten it up. Some people wear the strap all the way on the other side. For me, it's not comfortable that way, really, because then it puts the gun back here in the chest, which some people want. But I like this open here in front of me. I just feel awkward with something always here under my chin. And then when I'm hunting and I have my rangefinders, binoculars here in the front, they can hang right here. And so anyway, it tucks here. The backpack straps come around below. This is not ever a problem for backpack or for anything you carry here. And you can carry it, you know, I've carried it concealed. It's not very, very concealed, but if you want to put a coat on top, it fits nicely here. It doesn't conceal as good when you have this thing on it, which I have an extra mag here. It's more important to me for this extra mag than people that are running double stacked variations of 10. You don't need, you have, it takes me 2 clips to or 2 magazines to have the same as you know, some of the double stacked. But yeah, I like it the way it handles, and it does have a strap here, and this would go right here. And one of the things with them, they're really backed up. They make a lot of holsters, and so it can take 6 to 8 months or more, not weeks, sorry, 6 to 8 weeks to come. And the last one I ordered actually took longer than that. But they do good work, and they're up in Wasilla, Alaska, and developed around hunters and guides, really mostly guiding, is what has kind of made the demand for what they bring. So I'm going to take a couple shots here, and it has a safety. Mine has a safety. It's a single action only, and I'm just going to top this off. And I often do this if I'm in hunting. If it's just carry around here, I don't worry about it. You can, you know, load one and top it off, and now you have 9. So, all right, let me put my hearing protection on. So, my final thoughts on this video: the 10mm I think is adequate with the 220, the heavies, and 1200 velocity range. I think that the testing that I've done, I'm satisfied that the penetration is there. Obviously, the bigger the bore, the heavier the bullet, all gets better and better as far as for stopping bears. But there's only one way to really think of a pistol as being your defense against bear, and that, as far as for a 10mm like this is not something that you're trying to hunt a bear with at 20 yards. You're not even thinking of shooting at it at 20 yards, really. I mean, you might be thinking about it, but you shouldn't be yet. Most likely, what a pistol will be is something that attached, is charging, is on top of you, or gave you almost no time. And so thus, I believe the chest holster somewhere around the top here is the best. Most times people get thrown backwards before they ever get to fire anything, and they are in the middle of unholstering their gun, and they're firing while the bear is chawing on their feet or their legs. And that is really where a pistol comes in. It's your last defense. Your rifle should always be your first defense, even bear spray, Maybe a horn, like those air horns, those have been very effective. Things like that when a bear is out where you want to warn it. Your rifle should be your first defense, and this is your last defense, in my opinion. So I think for that close range and up and personal, 10 yards or less, I think this is adequate. Not even 9mm have been effective even at 15 yards by shooting them, double lunging them high in the lungs to protect somebody else that was getting mauled by a bear. And again, 10mm would even do better. But in that case, they make the 147 heavy flat nose bullets traveling at 1100 feet a second for the 35 caliber 9mm, and that had made it all the way through, not quite penetrating the hide on the other side. So that was documented. 10mm just does it more. So probably about the same penetration I was finding within tests that I did, 10mm versus 9mm, with the same style bullet, but the 10mm has a bigger hole, so it does it a little better. So thank you for watching this video on the Sig Sauer P220 Legion in 10mm.